Hey there friends, it's your favorite neighborhood nerd Simone, and I'm here today to share my currently inked for the month of June. I'm filming this on June 15th, and when I created this new ink palette on May 10th, yep, that's how sick of the other palette I already was at that time. I swatched 10 inks and thought that that was the way that I would go. I have 13 pens inked right now, and some of these are not as I had planned, but I want to tell you all about it in this video. The first thing I want to talk about is the title here. This sticker I printed on regular sticker paper. It is from Cat Collage Club, from her June collection. I just resubscribed to it and was so excited to be able to use this. I really love this font. It's whimsical, and that's exactly how I always feel. Well, I don't know. So let me show you the pens that I have inked. As you can see, I am using this Ad Liebe 5 pen case right here, and I originally had planned to expand my everyday carry pen case with my watercolor palette into this. Otherwise, I probably would have purchased the case where there is 5 slots over on this side. But I really love this, and I like that all of the pens are easily accessible. The case lays flat on my table, and when I want to carry it around, I can move things a little bit so that there is enough space so I can actually close it shut, even though there is more than the 5 pens in here that are supposed to be in here. So I really like this. I don't normally use or move my pens around very much, and so it totally works for me. As I mentioned, I have 13 pens inked. That is definitely 3 more than I had originally planned, and I also swapped out some of the inks because they bled through my Take a Note 68 GSM Tomoe River paper, and maybe even 5 months ago I would have been determined to just stick it out, but that journal is currently the place where I use all of my inked pens, and so if one of them doesn't work in the journal, then it's not really of use for me. I love playing with the way that each color pops off the other, or harmonize with each other, like this. Or this didn't turn out the way that I had intended to, but I really like to use a different pen for every day. There's 3 to 4 days on one page. And so if some of the colors don't work because they bleed through, that is just really unfortunate. And so I want to have that color represented in an ink and a pen that works in this journal. That's why I swapped some of these out, and I will talk about it right now. Let's start. I am not sorting this by rainbow. I'm just going from left to right here. All of the clip pens are on the left side right here, and all of the pens without clips that fit into these slots are over here. This way, the pens, if I open the pen case, it's not as sturdy or as stable as a Galen leather pen case would be. And so if all of the pens that have clips are over here, they don't accidentally fall out. Well, besides this one. But even this one, if I tuck it in the place where it's supposed to go, it won't slip out accidentally. So the first pen that I have inked is the Benu Talisman in collaboration with Gourmet Pens. It is their dark unicorn model. And let me agitate this first, and then let's put a drop onto where we can. Let's put a drop on here. I am deliberately not, oh, there's a lot of ink already outside of this pen. So there we go. And then maybe we can pull back some, because I don't want to have my feed to be too oversaturated. Let me grab my swink, because I really like using that for these types of things. It's not going to be super, maybe the next one is going to be a little better. Water is also necessary for this endeavor then, if we're going the route of the swink. Or maybe I should do it like this. I think I did that the last time. Where I just took this and then, well, this is working really well. Nope. Oh, look at this. Disaster in the first 5 minutes. Just watch a video by Simone. Yay. So this is, as I said, the Benu Gourmet Pens. Wow. Talisman. Dark unicorn. With a medium steel nib. And the ink that is inside here is Vinta, Umber, and this has a purple sheen, or yeah, pink, not sheen, pink shimmer on top of it. It's really hard. Well, there it is too. I really like how this writes. It writes super smoothly. It's really wet. I have no issues with the shimmer either. The only thing that I just noticed is that there's a lot of the ink already gone. Maybe I need a, here. This is the ink. It doesn't look like it darkened up much, so that's nice. I really enjoy using this in this pen. Let me see. Okay, we don't need lines, straight lines, but what we do need is kind of a bookmark for that page over here. So let's just put these two together, and then I should be able to flip over there. Okay, that works. So yeah, there's that. I really enjoy this. I have written with this. I am a little bit hesitant to use this much in my journal because of the bold line that the medium nib produces. Because the grid in this journal is really tiny, I think it's 4 millimeters, maybe even less. It is super, it looks very messy. Yeah, it's not even 4, it's 0.35 probably. It looks really messy when I'm using these bolder pens. So because I'm switching to a different journal in July, I am not very concerned about this nib size anymore. I can stick it out, but if I were to be staying in the, we have a lot of ink that is already evaporated, but that is what happens when you have a pen inked, when you have so many pens inked. Sorry. So, where was I? I was saying that because I'm switching, I'm not concerned. I would probably switch this to a fine nib if I was going to stay in this Take a Note notebook. This I like now. So, oh my gosh, look at this. This is Birmingham Pen Co. Root Cellar. It's neon yellow. Love this. So, this is the Lamy Al-Star in bronze. With a medium 14 karat gold nib. And as I said, this is Birmingham Pen Co. Root Cellar. And I originally wanted to use a different ink in this nib, but it did not work out at all. I really enjoy these Lamy gold nibs. They have a lot of bounce to them. They have a bit of line variation. The shading, if there is an ink that has those properties, comes out really nicely, but it's not that the lighter part of the ink is super light. It's really nice. I can totally tell that this ink has evaporated when I started writing. As maybe you can see it, there's a bit of sheen that indicates to me that there must be water, must have evaporated, and so it's very concentrated right here. Originally, I was going to use Amarillo Stationery Toasty Joggers. That ink is not one that works for me. I swatched Birmingham Root Cellar right next here, so it looks like almost the same. I didn't know that it was sheening, so maybe there's more water evaporated than I would want to. Well, it looks still similar, but I'm really enjoying this ink as well. I love the nib, I love the pen. It's super comfortable for me. So I have nothing bad to say about this combination at all. The next combination is this Waterman Carene in royal blue. It has an 18 karat inlaid nib. This is the fine, and I inked it with Birmingham Pen Company Glassblower's Flame. There's going to be a drop. I probably should make sure that I get enough of these on this side, because 13 pens is quite a bit. I inked most of these pens in May. I can check for the dates in a second. This one is a really nice ink. I like how dark it is. That is one of the things that I wanted to make sure I had a lot inked, quite like the darker inks. Let's write first, and then I'll tell you all about my inky dates. So this is the Waterman Carene. In royal blue with a fine, did I say medium or fine? 18 karat gold nib, and this ink is Birmingham Pen Company Glassblower's Flame. I really like how this flows in here. It's not too wet, it's not too dry. I've had quite a bit of not frustration, but irritation in the beginning. I didn't get this to write the way that I would have liked it to write. Oh, I didn't do this for the other ones. I should, maybe. But this ink in this pen works really well together. There is also some sheen over here. It's red. It's okay. I'm not the biggest fan of sheening inks, but this is, I can still live with this. So Birmingham Glassblower's Flame was one of the original planned inks, just like Winter Umber, just not Root Cellar. So I inked these pens the first time. I inked them on May 20th is when I inked the first rotation, just as it was here. And then on May 28th, I made the first changes. Then on May 29th and June 4th. And then the last one is the newest pen I changed on or inked up on June 10th. So let's see, let's put another one right down here. This one is my Pelikan M800. Let's see if there's ink there. All right. So this is a pen that I purchased in the beginning of 2025. So if I have 4 here, I need to get 9 over there. That's a lot. But also, yeah, maybe need to make sure that maybe I need to alternate. So yeah, sometimes I feel like that the nib isn't tuned the best, and I would like to have it looked at by a nibmeister. Unfortunately, I'm not going to the San Francisco Pen Show this summer. And that would mean that I either have to wait until a pen show, or I will need to send it to a nibmeister, and I haven't made up my mind of what I'm going to do with that yet. So this is Pelikan, oops, 800 in blue cream. With a fine 18 karat gold nib as well. The ink is Lennon Toolbar. Deep Mountain. And here is the line variation. It does have some I just feel like it's super dry in the upstrokes, and then when I write with this, I am just not getting the experience that I have with my green demonstrator Pelikan M800. And so I would just have someone, if they tell me everything is fine with this nib, nothing is wrong, then I probably, well, I don't know. I was just going to say then I probably wouldn't change anything, but I would want them to compare it to my green demo and make it the same wetness possibly. The ink that was in this pen first was not Kiwi Ink's Haunted Forest. I realized that this ink was running out as I was filming this video. And so I replaced it with Lamy Petrol. However, Lamy Petrol, wow, this looks super messy. This ink flowed really well in the Pelikan M800, actually flows better than the Deep Mountain, but it was just a bleed fest on the Take a Note paper. I would basically be able to have, every time I would stop, there would be a dot on the other side. If I was writing slowly, I would actually see the word on the other side. And that is just writing with the pen in your journal. is, and at the same time wondering, what if all of what I'm writing right now is visible on the other side? I didn't know how anxious that made me feel until I started my reading journal, which is in a MD paper Traveler's Company insert. And everything works really nicely on there. And then I go into the take a note and it's just such an, I know I don't have to be anxious about this, but I don't enjoy the bleed through, especially when I'm writing on the back side, because it's a dated planner. There's nothing really that I can do about it. If I want to keep this chronological and use every date for an entry. So I have to use this side if I want to make an entry on the 16th, right? If that is my intention of this journal. Otherwise, I don't need any of the dates. I don't need the grid. This bled through immensely. I put something on top of it. This is where on the one side, one of the inks bled through, and the other side, this ink, you can't really see it right now because it's covered up by the writing. But just knowing that this can happen and that I would maybe have a page that isn't usable stressed me out so much that I decided, no, this is not worth my energy or my stress. So I swapped it out to Lennon Toolbar Deep Mountain. It's probably, these all work really well. They might have some evaporation issues, but as you can hear from me speaking, at the moment, I am not as bothered by the evaporation as the bleed through a notebook. And so these work even if they're a little darker. This one, the Lamy Petrol, definitely was better in this pen, but I'm just gonna keep using this until I'm ready to swap out all of my pens. But it's definitely not one of the better combinations. So these are all really good. This one is meh, not the best. This is amazing. Let me see if I can actually even get a drop on here. Otherwise, I would probably spill half of this. This is dangerous territory. I'm gonna have a soup here. So scared, but I'm also so excited to try this. So we'll just see what happens. There we go. This is cute. This is tiny. It's not going to be really bad. Exactly what we need for this page. So this is the Pelikan M800. What? No, this is obviously not a Pelikan. This is a cigar-shaped pen. This is the Pilot Custom 823 with a medium nib. In amber with a medium 14 karat gold nib. The ink that is in here is Pelikan. That's why I said Pelikan earlier. Edelstein, Appetite. And this ink, I think I mixed some of the things up. I don't remember what I said where I was going to put this ink, but this is it. In the pen, it looks more vibrant. Like a word that I associate with this is Côte d'Azur, and I'm just realizing that this would be a perfect match for this pen. Wow! Oh my God, I just spilled my water. I'll be right back. I think I got it under control. So it's a really great match for this pen, but I don't know, maybe it's because it's summer. Lots of ink here everywhere now. Can we do something not messy? No. I really love Pilot nibs. I love Pilot pens. And this is perfection for me. I love writing with this. It's less broad than the steel nib in the Gourmet Pens Talisman, but it's also not super fine. I really enjoy writing with Pilot medium nibs, and this just works absolutely fine. I just love this beautiful ink color as well. So I have nothing bad to say about this. I'm probably going to keep it inked until it runs out because it's just working so well at the moment. And then in this lineup here, I did not have a olivey green ink, and I totally missed that. And so I recently received back the fine nib on this Lamy 2000 that I had loaned to a friend, and that made me decide to just ink up this one with a green ink that I currently have in my stash. And that is Troublemaker Hanging Rice. That's a lot of ink right here. I purchased the medium nib because I didn't get along well with the fine nib. But as much as the medium nib is an amazing expressive nib, I feel like I'm currently back on the track to the finer nibs, and so having that fine nib back made this pen more usable for me. I've learned that I'm definitely not one of those people who can lock into one specific nib size and that is their perfect nib size for the rest of their life. That is not me. I am really oscillating between the extra fines and the broads. Yes, medium is my comfort nibs size, but sometimes I'm like veering more to the broader nibs and then more towards the finer nibs, and I'm enjoying that. And that's why I'm trying to keep my range of nibs and the pens that I have really open so that I can cater to all of these different desires. This works really well. I love the way this ink flows in this pen. I'm definitely having more. Everybody always says how easy this pen is to use, and it is nice. It's a snap cap, and I love using it and writing with it, but I feel like it's more finicky than maybe other pens, with which inks the pen plays well. This one is definitely one of those that it plays well with. And then the last clippity pen is this one. It's another one that I inked up without waiting for the pen that I originally wanted to put this ink in. The same way that I missed a green, I also missed a sailor nib. Yup. I had all of those pens inked originally. I can show the original inking pens that I had inked to you later, and I was missing the writing experience with a sailor nib, and so I decided, you know what, I'm not going to wait for the pen that I wanted to put this ink in. I'm just going to use a sailor nib with this ink. And so I pulled out this one. Again, the pen was determined by the nib size. This time, again, this is a fine nib because I wanted to have the finer nib experience. Woohoo! This is too far down. Oh well. it is what it is. We'll squeeze it all onto this page, hopefully. This is a really lovely color. I did not think I would enjoy this ink as much as I do. It's kind of a not brown, not dark purple, not really black, but I need to concentrate. This is the Sailor. That's the first one. See how fine this nib isn't? These are both fine nibs. Yoseka, Pro Gear, Origin. These Pro Gear size Sailors have a 21 karat gold nib. No, that's not what goes in here. It's fine. Well, and then the ink is Birmingham Pen Co. tin type. And I just really love this. Of the inks that I received from my friend Heather, this is one of them. This is another one of them. She sent 4. I was the least excited about this from the whole set that she purchased and shared samples with me. But I'm actually, if I had to buy one of them, I'd probably buy this color because it's just so great. So the ink flows really well. This pen I love this pen. I really enjoy this fine nib. It writes so smoothly. There's a tiny bit of feedback still left. This was tuned by Greg Minushkin, but it's very, very smooth for a Sailor. But I just love how fine this writes. And so that's this. I'm definitely not going to try even and drop an ink drop onto the page. This is my newest acquisition. This is the Pride Ursa Minor number 6. To me, this is my Waterman pen. I was able to purchase this one last week when Michaela from White Bear Pens had her special drop with Claudia from the Cloudy's desk. And I swapped out the nib for a Pilot Custom 74 nib. This is also a medium nib, just like the 823. Let me see if I can do this. I've seen many people try doing this, but I'm usually least successful with this. Well, that worked better than I thought it would. So this is a White Bear Pens Pride Ursa Minor number 6. So I think she had 8 pens for sale. And mine was the one on the picture, number 6. And to me, this is my Water Melon. So or maybe you would write it Water Malone? Not sure. The ink that is in here is Diamine, Sugar Turtle collab. Sugar Turtle Warm Heart. This when I filmed the unboxing of this and swapped out the nib, and then I wrote with it, I said, I miss this nib so much, and I really did. This nib was my very first gold nib. It's just so nice to write with, and I'm so glad that I have it in a pen with a bigger grip section so I can enjoy it more. The nib is super tiny. I could have put it on any of my hand-turned pens. However, I really like the proportions of this nib with the rest of the pen much better. So yeah, that is this. Have nothing bad to say about this. The ink is a perfect match for this big pink section right here in the barrel, and I am just so in love with this actually that I am saving up for another one. I just purchased a pen yesterday. The biggest pen group in my hand-turned pens is actually Mayfair Pens. There's another one coming. Then I have 5. What the heck is happening? Ben of Mayfair Pens just makes the best combinations with resins, and so I'm just always amazed by it. But actually, the pen that I purchased is just a single color, and I can't wait to show it to you. This one, however, is a pen that I swapped with my friend Wendy Sue. If you can look closely, this one says Relic Pens. We were not really able to figure out what type of model from Relic Pens this is. It seems like the blank is a one-off blank that also the person from Relic Pens, who I have no idea what their name is. This is my first experience with Relic Pens. They haven't been on my radar at all. Not to say that that's neither bad nor good. There's so many makers of pens that it's really hard to keep up with every single one of them. And so I had never really come across Relic Pens or sought them out prior to this swap. She just looked around for pens in her collection that she was willing to part with and that I would probably like, and showed me several of them, and this one was definitely one that I will like. Not sure if this is a forever in my collection pen or a for now. I'm pretty sure I know with several of the ones that the clip pens, I know for sure. We could talk about that too. Like, do you know for sure that this is a forever pen? With these ones, not so much. So because there's so many blanks, so many makers, so many people who pour blanks and come out with new combinations, I feel like it's more likely that you're gonna, have one of those maker pens in your collection for a while and then have a different one. So this is Relic Pens. We don't know the model, but the blank was called Purple Glitter. This is a pen that was originally owned by Candace from Inks and Anchors. She called this blank Purple Glitter Bomb, and I put a regular fine Jowo number 6 steel nib in here. Wow, this is, it's also very telling. I definitely am a gold nib snob. This is a steel nib and this is a steel nib. I don't know how many more steel nibs are coming, but yeah, I really enjoy gold nibs. And when I have a collection of nibs and gold nibs, I really gravitate more towards those. So this is Waterman Tender Purple. That is also bleeding through on my 68 GSM Tomoe River Purple, Tender Purple. And now this purple looks nothing like this. I am aware. The steel nibs are just not as bouncy, as maybe expressive, or have a personality as much as the gold nibs. Maybe that's what this is. I'm not sure. I will show you, there will be a pen where the ink that is in here would fit better, and the ink that is in the other pen would probably fit better in here. But as you know, I don't really care too much about this. So the other pen that I have inked, other handmade pens, all of the ones that are coming are hand turned, is this also fairly new acquisition, which is a Hawktown Swansea in XL with this beautiful blue nebula resin by Stormwind's Blanks. It is a postable pen, which I like that it's postable. I'm not really posting this, but it's made to post, and it posts really nicely. So the grip section is awesome, quite wide, much wider than the Relic Pens grip section. Why is there always a drop of ink on this side? This is the second time, and every time I look at it, there's an... Let's close this and see what happens. Okay, I'm just going to put this here and we'll look at it in a second. Okay, much wider than this other one. This is an extra fine nib, and the ink that is in here is Pilot Iroshizuku Yamabudo. The original ink that was in here, oh my goodness, too much. The original ink that was in here was Van Ness Hissy Fit, but that was also not working well with the Sanzen paper. I've been talking non-stop. My thought is, because this also is supposedly, Hobonichi didn't disclaim which notebooks were made, besides the planners, which notebooks were made with original old Tomoe River paper and Sanzen. So I'm assuming that this is also Sanzen paper. It works really well. There's hardly any bleed through. This you would probably have with original paper as well. So it's not too far off from the original in the way that it behaves. So what I am actually thinking is that maybe the printing on that paper, making a planner out of this paper, made it more prone to mess with the surface of the paper, and now it doesn't work as well as if it was just blank pages. That's my guess, speculation. So this is nothing that is official. Hawktown Pens is the name. Swansea XL in Blue Nebula. Extra fine steel, and the ink is Pilot Iroshizuku Yama Budo, and again it's a steel nib. It's not really going to budge much. Seems drier in the upstrokes, but I feel like almost all my pens have that issue. Maybe not this one also not, but this one, the Pilots are actually known for being dry in the upstrokes. The Lamy not so much, the Yoseka not so much. The White Bear Pens is awesome. Doesn't have, well, there's more shading than in the downstrokes and this one, but this one definitely does. I really enjoy. So there's, I'm distracted, can you see that? But there's no ink on there right now. I'm just gonna leave it here and see what happens. So I really enjoy using this. The steel extra fine nib is a little bit too, this was a little bit hard at the end, which I find a bit weird. Let's see if there's any stuff on there. Obstructions. Yeah, no, it works. But I chose this for the sake of the grid size, and it works really well in my planner. Now that I swapped out Van Ness Hisifit with Yamabudo, it is a little bit darker than Hisifit. Hisifit is brighter, but because I now have this warm heart, I don't need it to be so loud and spicy. I have this for that purpose. This one I didn't move forward at all. Instead, I used Trust a Bivalve, and I'm just gonna go there right now. This is my Bonecrusher 7 Studios in the Velma model with the Harvest Bell blank from Poorly Controlled. And the ink that is in here, I said before, is Diamine Bivalve. It's a collaboration with Ink Dependence, Mike from Ink Dependence, and it looks really lovely, but I think this pen doesn't seal nicely because it seems to be different. And by that, I mean it's always super dark. So, wow, okay. The nib that is on here is a medium SIG nib from Franklin Christoph. This is a steel nib, and I really enjoy this nib. Again, this is Bonecrusher. No, nothing like that. Diamine, Ink Dependence, Trust a Bivalve. Now, this has nice line variation. It is a stop italic gradient, and as you can see, it's a lot darker than originally. So if I look at how this ink looks here compared to how it comes out of the pen. Yeah, so I don't really know what if this is just how the ink looks when it's in a nib like this. It does get lighter when I'm writing for a bit, so this might not be the perfect ink for this pen because of the evaporation issues. I said I wasn't really caring about these, but this one, for some reason, this one gets me in the sense that every time I use it, I'm like, this is not the right color. So yeah, maybe I should take it out. But I originally had the journaler nib in here, and it worked really well on the MD paper, so I'm not just giving up on that nib, but it felt like skating and sliding on ice on all the Tomoe River paper that I used. be it the original one, be it the Sanzen 52 GSM, be it the Sanzen paper that is in my planner. It felt too slippery and I did not enjoy the writing experience at all. And so I decided, you know what? If you like slicey pens for now, then maybe I should use this SIG nib instead, because I feel like the SIG nibs are just a tiny bit more sharp around the edges. Yeah, that's that. I am running out of space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this one next. This is my Mayfair Pens Naria in the Noldor model. I think I asked Ben already what this exactly was, but maybe I need to do that again. The nib that is on here is an extra fine SIG nib. Let me check if I still have ink in here, because I'm not using this a lot. I was a little scared about how this would go, because I actually sold an extra fine SIG nib maybe a year or so, maybe a year or two ago, because I was just not able to use this at all. I could not use it. It was too scratchy, too feedbacky. That's one of the things that I've learned as well. The nib preferences and how they perform seems to change as well. I was super smooth, glide along the page person, and now I love me some feedback, which is interesting. So this is, as I said, Mayfair Pens Noldor, and this could be Galaxy something, Galaxy, and the blue, I don't know, Galaxy nothing, I'm gonna ask. Extra fine SIG, also Franklin Christoph, also steel. The ink in here is Dominant Industry Earl Grey Tea, and it is a little bit bouncy, just a tiny bit. It has amazing line variations. I did an entry in my book journal with this, and I just couldn't get over how neat my page looked. I really enjoy using this. I haven't used it enough, but I really do. Now this is a carryover, and I will replace the purchase that I made for yesterday is going to replace this pen, because I need to use to screw the cap on the back, and I don't enjoy that at all. So what I'm going to do is just replace this pen, and I will dedicate this as a play pen because I can. So this is Mayfair Pens Naria model with another pilot nib. So I have 3 pilots in this lineup. The Mayfair Pens Naria with a FA nib pilot, 14K. And the ink that is in here is Amarillo Stationery Blue Suntan. And figure 8s look like this. Ever since I put this nib onto this pen, this is an eyedropper fill pen. Yeah, I replaced it with an Arkenstone. eyedropper fill as well, and putting the ebonite feed into this with this nib, I have had no railroading issues, no sudden drying issues whatsoever. If I don't put any pressure, this is what this looks like. If I put pressure, I can go as thick as this comfortably without feeling like I am breaking the nib. And I really enjoy this. I love using this, and I can't wait to move the nib into the Arkenstone. Probably will swap out the ink because it's been inked for quite a while, and so that's what's going to happen there. But this is, I think it also got quite a bit darker here, which is okay. I'm not, wow, who am I even? I'm not that fuzzy anymore, not this time around. So I really love this, and if I'm looking at this right now, I think I am extremely happy with, I actually like this quite a bit. Let me rank them. I was going to tell you about the first lineup that I had, and then I will rank them and how I like the writing experience. And you will see something that I just realized as well. So I had this pen inked, this pen, and I'm gonna take my awesome the Noldor, the Lamy, the Pelikan, the Pilot, and the Waterman Carene. So this was my original lineup. This is a lot of blues and teals here. I had the Amarillo Stationery Toasty Joggers in here that I swapped out. I have the Earl Grey tea, and then here the Winter Umber. Here I swapped out the nib from the Journaler to the Franklin Christoph Sig medium nib, and then here I swapped out the ink to the Root Cellar. And then this is when I added, after that I added these two pens. Then I added this one. This one was already in the original lineup because that has already been inked, and then this one, and then the last one that I added here is this one. So you can see that this is a lot of pens. That's why a lot of them are evaporating, and I'm actually, as I said earlier, it doesn't seem to bother me a lot right now. So if I were to rank, I would put this far ahead. These two. This one I don't feel like I should be ranking because I just got it, but I am very much in love with this one. So if we are ranking these pens, then these are the unquestionables. These work nicely. I love using them. No questions asked. This one as well, now that there's Root Cellar here. This one, okay, so these are all the good ones. And then we're going into the medium range, which probably would be, so the ones that let's go with the ones that I enjoy the least. There's a reason why I don't enjoy them a lot. And now that I'm thinking about it, I think these ones are the no questions asked. This one is okay. I don't enjoy that the nib size is so big and there's so much ink being dumped. That's nice for the shimmer, but it's not really usable in my journal with the smaller grid size. This will change a lot. I think this would be one of those no questions asked pen. This one, is also in the middle range, and then we start with a yeah, but. So here is all the things that worked really great up to here. Medium, cool, yeah. I like the fine line on this pen and how neat my handwriting looks when I use it. And then we come to these. So this one, the thing that I don't, even though I love the nib and everything about it, the one thing that I didn't enjoy about this was the screw to post. So that is definitely taking away some of the enjoyment for this pen. This one, I don't like how light the ink looks in the pen, and that I have the feeling that the downstrokes sometimes don't keep up with my writing. So that is a pen that, yeah, feels not the greatest. So if I were to say I want to go down with my nibs and pens to a more manageable amount, I probably would cut it here, which is kind of sad because all of the Maker pens are in that lineup. And that is, for these two, that is mostly to do with the nibs. These are just regular steel nibs. I don't really like the extra fine on this one. So I bet that if I put my sailor nibs on here, I would have a blast writing with these pens. But I say it all the time. I'm not sure why I'm just meh and not extremely enjoying the regular steel Jowo nibs. But yeah, and no shade. If you love these, that's so cool for you. I'm just so happy that you enjoy them, because I wish I would gravitate towards these more. But I bet if I had as I said, a sailor nib on here or one of those pilot nibs, I would reach for them more often. I'm such a snob when it comes to nibs now, which, yeah, is a little sad. But, you know, I just have to make sure that maybe when there is a deal or somebody selling a used sailor pen for small money, that I would snag this up so that I can have those nibs on here. And then this one is not enjoyable for the darkening of the ink. I think that is what takes away from the enjoyment of this one. Would I unink this right now? Probably not, because I really love writing with a nib. So maybe that would also be something that I need to consider, is having these nibs you know, ground to something that I would enjoy more. Alrighty, this is it from me now. I've been playing around, getting distracted, so I don't want to keep you for much longer. Here's my colors. I really love them. It's a lot of pinks and purples. It's a lot of blues and teals, but I did miss the olivey green, so I added that to it. This is definitely one of my favorites for sure. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time. If you would love to see more, I'd have you subscribe. What is this language? I'd be happy if you subscribed and left a comment, and also leave a like. See you soon. Until then, bye.